Killed by undocumented immigrants, among the president and first lady's special guests. And now the president blames former President Obama for those FBI leaks and town hall protests.
I think he is behind it. I also think it's politics. That's the way it is.
Breaking overnight, a plane crashing into a California neighborhood, seen on this surveillance video plummeting moments after takeoff. The fiery wreck engulfing homes. The passengers on their way back from a cheerleading competition. At least 3 people killed, 2 survived.
And behind the big picture blunder,
Moonlight, you guys won Best Picture.
new clues this morning about what really happened with that epic Oscars mix-up, the tweet that may be at the center of it all, and the man who may be responsible for the mistake now revealed. What the Academy and host Jimmy Kimmel are saying overnight as the plot thickens this morning.
Live in Times Square, this is GMA with Robin Roberts, George Stephanopoulos, and Michael Strahan.
Good morning, America.
And the winner is?
I know. Oh. You couldn't wait. Too soon? Too soon? We have new details about that major Oscars mistake when Warren Beatty was, of course, handed the wrong envelope.
And we see this team on the red carpet every year. And I gotta say, they are lovely people. They really are. They have their briefcases, and those briefcases are full of the Oscar winners. And usually it's their moment in the spotlight, but now they're at the center of that spotlight because of this
For a different reason.
Yeah, I got to feel bad for them this morning. We're going to have more on that come up, but also big day in Washington. Let's take a live look at the Capitol. That's where President Trump's going to make his first address to a joint session of Congress. That, of course, is tonight. The president getting ready right now.
He is expected to lay out the vision for the nation. So let's go right to ABC senior White House correspondent Cecilia Vega with more on what we can expect tonight. Good morning, Cecilia.
Robin, good morning to you. This is essentially a State of the Union before a bitterly divided country. The president obviously no stranger to big speeches, but he has never given a speech like this. The former reality TV star turned president will be back on primetime tonight. President Trump on Fox News dropping a few hints.
All I can do is speak from the heart and say what I want to do. We have a really terrific, I believe, health care plan coming out. I'll be talking about the military. I'll be talking about the border. And remember this, on the border and throughout our country, we're getting the bad ones out, the bad people, gang members, drug lords, in some cases murderers.
Among the attendees at President Trump's first address to a joint session of Congress, 3 guests sitting with the First Lady, all family members of people killed by undocumented immigrants. Still, aides say the president will offer an optimistic vision for the country, focusing on national security, the economy, and foreign policy. The president gearing up for that big speech with a dizzying schedule.
I don't think we've ever had this many people. This could be a new record forever.
In a meeting with top health insurance companies, he promised his own health care plan is coming soon.
Horrible effects that Obamacare has had, and we're going to change it.
But speaking to governors from around the country, this stark admission.
It's an unbelievably complex subject. Nobody knew that health care could be so complicated.
The president also discussing his proposed budget, which offers a 10% hike in military spending. That's $54 billion. And to help offset that, major cuts to come, including to foreign aid. The budget on the president's agenda tonight. Those town hall protests across the country also on the president's radar. And he told Fox News overnight he believes President Obama is behind them.
Do you believe President Obama is behind it? And if he is that a violation of the so-called unsaid president's code?
No, I think he is behind it. I also think it's politics. That's the way it is.
And the president also accused President Obama's team of planting some of those leaks that have been dogging his administration. But he said, quote, again, that's politics. It will probably continue. George, no comments so far from President Obama or his team.
Okay, Cecilia, thanks very much. Let's bring in the man in charge of President Trump's budget, Mick Mulvaney. He joins us right now. Mr. Mulvaney, thank you for joining us this morning. You're already getting a lot of reaction to those plans we saw yesterday. Big increase in defense spending, cuts in domestic programs. Democrats say that's going to just take a wrecking ball to programs that help the middle class, like clean water, food safety, education. And even Republican budget experts believe that cuts like this are going to be dead on arrival on Capitol Hill. So is this all symbolism?
No, it's the president doing exactly what he said he would do when he ran. The budget is nothing more than the manifestation through expenditures of policy. And what you see in this budget is exactly what the president ran on. He ran on increasing spending on the military. He ran on defending the border. He ran on enforcing the laws that are already on the books. He ran on giving things like school choice more opportunity, and that's what's reflected in the budget.
As you know, sir, the president also said he was going to pay down the debt, start to balance the budget. This doesn't bring down deficits at all, your plan, and you yourself have said many times that can't happen unless you take on Medicare, unless you take on Social Security, and the president says he's not going to do that.
Sure, George, and as you know, when you were here, this is a budget blueprint. The first year of a new administration, the budget process is a little different. We're actually rolling out the budget blueprint a little bit earlier than we otherwise would, in large part because of the delay the Senate Democrats had in getting me confirmed. So we're letting the public know earlier than ordinary, and where we are now is simply the top line discretionary spending. It won't be until May till we reveal our first thoughts on the big ideas like tax policy, healthcare reform, in terms of how that translates into the dollars and cents. Infrastructure will be after that. So this is simply discretionary spending.
Let me just stop you right there. Can the president keep his promise both to move the budgets towards balance, pay down the debt, and not touch Medicare and Social Security?
Well, which is, again, those are bigger discussions for another day. But look at what he's done here. He's kept his promises without adding to this year's deficit. It would have been very easy for the president to come in and say, let's spend more money and let's blow up the deficit. But what you're seeing here is a very powerful message to your earlier point. What the president wants is to move spending from, say, overseas back in this country. That's why you'll see fairly significant reductions in his proposals regarding foreign aid. But he's doing all of this without adding to this year's deficit. And I think that is a very powerful message from the President of the United States to Congress.
The president promising something special tonight on health care, but it looks like his plans to repeal and replace Obamacare are kind of stuck on Capitol Hill right now. So is the president going to come forward tonight with a specific plan of his own, and will it meet his promise to cover everyone at lower costs?
Tonight, I don't want to give away what the president's going to say tonight. That's not my job. But what I think you've seen already is work done by Tom Price, the new head of Health and Human Services. Also, by the way, late in getting appointed. You're starting to see some of the impacts, George, of the obstruction with the cabinet. What you'll see tonight is an introduction to some of the topics. I don't think you'll see specifics for the next couple of weeks.
But is the president standing by his promise not to sign a replacement bill that will cause people to lose coverage?
Look at it this way. The president has done nothing but keep his promises up to now. Again, the budget is a manifestation of that. He promised this, this, and this, and the budget has it. He promised to reduce that, and that, and the budget delivers that. So if the president has done anything in his first month in office, he has proved that he is, in fact, keeping his promises, and I think you could expect that to continue.
But you would agree that until you get to the big-ticket promises on tax cuts, on balancing the budget, on health care, what you're talking about now is a small fraction of what it's going to take.
Well, certainly the big issues of the day are the things that you just mentioned, and it's going to take more than, I've been on the job, I think, 9 days, more than 9 days to start to address those things. And I do hope we get a chance to address them. We just haven't had a chance to do it in this first couple of weeks, and that's not the purpose of the budget that we brought forth last night.
Mr. Mulvaney, thanks very much for your time this morning.
Thanks, George.
All right, George, we're going to turn to our chief White House correspondent, John Karl. And, John, what is your take on what's at stake for the president tonight?
Well, Robin, we are now entering the next phase of the Obama presidency. He has started out with a blizzard of executive actions, getting his nominees confirmed. Now he has to see, can he get the big stuff through Congress? So what's at stake tonight is he's got to get, first and foremost, the Republican Party on the same page. Right now you have a deeply divided Republican Party on those big issues that George just talked about, on Obamacare, on tax reform, on budget. So I would say his biggest stake tonight is getting Republicans, giving them some guidance on where to go and getting them on the same page.
And, John, as we heard in Cecilia's piece, the president is making quite a statement by who he is inviting to sit with the First Lady tonight.
It's extraordinary. The White House only released 6 names of people that would be in the First Lady's box. Fully half of them, 3, are people who family members have been killed by undocumented immigrants. Clearly, that's going to be a major theme, tough border enforcement. Another guest, by the way, is the widow of Justice Scalia, so clearly a look ahead to that confirmation battle.
And what about the Democrats tonight? What are you expecting from them?
Well, the Democrats will be doing exactly the opposite. They will be bringing in people that have been victimized, they say, by the policies that Trump is pursuing, including immigrants, Muslims, dreamers, people who got health care because of Obamacare. Also, look for this, Robin. The Democratic Women's Working Group in the House is going to be wearing white, or encouraging women to wear white on the floor of the House as a silent protest in favor of women's rights.
Hey, John, let me follow up again on this Obamacare. That's going to be at the heart of the president's speech tonight, in addition to the budget. And a little bit of a reality check right now. It turns out that top House and Senate conservatives now have come out against the plans that the president has been working on. So is it dead right now?
Right now, the Republicans are utterly divided on this question. And, George, because this is such a partisan issue, they cannot pass a repeal and replacement of Obamacare unless they are united. They are not going to get any Democratic help on this. As you know, there are only 52 Republicans in the Senate. There's a slightly bigger majority in the House, but they need to be on the same page, and right now they are not.
All right, John, thank you very much. And we'll hear what the president has to say tonight, because we will carry the president's address to Congress and the nation live at 9 p.m. Eastern. Join George and our powerhouse political team right here on ABC. Michael.
All right, thank you, Robin. And we're going to turn now to these incredible images coming out of Southern California this morning after a plane crashed into a neighborhood on its way back from a cheerleading event. And ABC's Kana Wentworth is in Riverside with the story. Good morning, Kana.
Michael, good morning. Just a horrifying scene out here after a plane carrying 4 passengers and a pilot crashed into these homes behind me. You can see they're actually still smoldering this morning. Neighbors saying that when it happened, their homes actually shook. And when they opened their doors to help, they were overcome by a rush of heat from the flames.
Is everybody safe?
These are the horrifying images of a deadly plane crash in Southern California.
The plane hit a residence, and the residence is on fire.
The plane, carrying a group home from a cheerleading competition at Disneyland, struck 2 homes in this residential area. In this surveillance video, you can see the plane suddenly falling from the sky, then flames erupt and billowing smoke.
I heard a big loud boom. I looked outside my window and I turned, and it was flames in the air, everything.
Oh my gosh.
Neighbors say one of the victims was able to flee the burning home.
We see this lady, she was crawling. Half her clothes was on fire, and she was like, I need help, I need help.
Bystanders rushing to her side as rescue crews begin pouring in.
I have 1 patient. We've got 4 victims that were in the airplane. We're checking for.
Firefighters quickly searching the homes for victims. You can see them here, pulling someone out of the building. At least 3 people died and 2 more hospitalized in critical condition.
It almost looks like a piece of the airplane still remains on that roof.
It's reported that it was other victims in the home, and we're still searching for those victims.
And this morning, crews still searching the smoldering remains as authorities begin to investigate the crash. Now, authorities are saying they do not believe that anybody on the ground was injured or killed, but they will be sifting through this wreckage just in case. Michael.
All right, thank you, Kana.
What a scene there. Yeah, we're going to move on now to a massive storm moving across the country. It stretches from Arkansas through the Ohio Valley. Ginger tracking its path. Hey, Ginger.
Hey, good morning to you, George. You know, this is the time of year that the atmosphere really energizes. A separate storm did this in Seattle, Washington. You can see that's the Space Needle getting hit by lightning. They had hail, then they had sleet and grapple, and then transitioned to snow. So a really ruckus night there. But in San Diego, California, they had their wettest day on record. More than 2 inches of rain. You can see the rescues there at San Diego Airport, up to 7 inches of rain, drowning cars in the foothills, in the mountains. So lots of rain, and now that storm, the low right there that you see, is going to start moving to the east. And today, this is the area later this afternoon and evening, and especially into the overnight hours, that the area you see in orange here, Indianapolis, back through parts of central and southern Illinois, down to Little Rock, that's in the enhanced risk. So, Michael, guys, we'll be watching this, and it moves east tomorrow.
Certainly keep an eye on that. All right, Ginger, thank you. Get a new wave of apparent hate crimes across the country and shutting down Jewish community centers coast to coast Monday. Another incident at a Jewish cemetery where more than 100 gravestones were vandalized. Our senior justice correspondent Pierre Thomas is in Washington, has much more on that. Good morning, Pierre.
Good morning, Robin. A series of ugly and tragic incidents now has the full attention of the highest levels of government as the FBI investigates a week of potential hate crimes capturing national attention.
More bomb threats to nearly 24 Jewish schools and community centers across the country on Monday.
Having your child threatened with violence is probably the worst feeling as a mom you will ever encounter.
The hoax bomb threats, part of a wave of anti-Semitic harassment At least 90 Jewish facilities targeted in 30 states since the beginning of the year.
The president continues to condemn these and any other form of anti-Semitic and hateful acts in the strongest terms.
Over the weekend, more than 100 graves damaged or overturned at a Jewish cemetery in Philadelphia. This on the heels of similar vandalism at a Jewish cemetery near St. Louis last week.
This Department of Justice will do what it can to assist in pushing back against that and prosecuting anybody that we can prove to be a part of it.
The Justice Department is closely monitoring all these incidents, trying to determine whether federal civil rights laws have been violated during what was a tragic week.
And 2 more incidents under scrutiny: a suspicious fire at a mosque near Tampa, and that deadly shooting near Kansas City where 2 men were shot, allegedly because the suspect thought that they looked Middle Eastern. One of those men died. A terrible week, Robin.
It certainly has been. All right. Thank you so much, Pierre. Now let's go to Amy for the morning's other top stories, starting with a murder suspect on the run.
That's right. There is an urgent manhunt right now across Chicago for an accused killer who was mistakenly released from prison. 29-year-old Garrett Glover is charged in a deadly highway shooting, but was allowed to walk after being paroled in a separate case. Authorities warn they consider him to be a danger to the public, and they're now trying to figure out what caused the confusion before his release. 5 major automakers are under scrutiny this morning after the Japanese company Takata pleaded guilty to fraud over its faulty airbags. Takata has agreed to pay $1 billion in penalties for concealing that defect, blamed for now at least 11 deaths in the United States. New court documents allege that Toyota, Honda, Ford, Nissan, and BMW knew for years those airbags were dangerous but continued to use them to save money. Well, the private space travel company SpaceX has agreed to fly 2 tourists around the moon next year. That trip, estimated to cost more than $200 million, will be paid for by those 2 private citizens, the first trip of its kind. SpaceX has not revealed the customers' names yet, but says they've already paid a significant deposit for the week-long trip and will undergo medical tests to make sure they are fit for the mission. And something bright in the sky had people in the South Pacific talking today. Look at this, a slow-moving fireball. What is it? Well, scientists say it was too slow to be a meteor. They think it was just an optical illusion created as the sun reflected off a plane. Wow, that's some illusion. We got some hmms in the studio. And a new gamble by billionaire Warren Buffett. He is offering to pay $1 million a year for life to any of his employees who picks a perfect Sweet 16 bracket for the upcoming March Madness basketball tournament. It will not be easy. There are 282 trillion possible Sweet 16 combinations.
But at least it's just, not saying you have to get the whole bracket, just to the Sweet 16.
Sweet 16.
That's
okay, go for it.
But the thing is, you have to be an employee.
That's true.
That might be harder than picking the Sweet 16.
This gets $100,000, so he's going to pay out something. Yes.
Wow.
Nice to work for Warren Buffett.
Nice to work for Warren Buffett.
$1 million.
And you know what else is nice? When you can look over at Ginger Z and she has a beautiful image like that, because we know good news is coming.
You know it. You know it's coming for you. It's coming for a lot of folks all the way down into the South. These are actually one of the varieties of cherry blossoms, according to Chris Vaccaro. And he sent us that saying, I had to turn on the air conditioning. Well, you're going to have to do it again, Chris. New Orleans, for example, today could see one of their warmest Mardi Gras Fat Tuesdays on record. So it should get right up there, if not tie or if not break that number in the low 80s. And there it is, Washington, D.C., 77 by tomorrow. All right, let's get to your local weather in 30 seconds. First, though, the Tuesday trivia brought to you by CarMax.
That was invigorating. You're probably wondering why I just carved a giant wooden tiger. Well, the answer is that a real one would maul me. I've crafted Dr. Whiskers here as a visual aid to show you that should you visit the lot, CarMax associates will not pounce like tigers, because people don't like that. Come here to buy a car, Dr. Whiskers won't pounce. Nobody will.
And a very good morning, meteorologist Brian Vandergraff. Much milder out there this morning. Through the day, some sunshine, temperatures climb into the upper 60s, but by late afternoon, those clouds thicken. Some showers develop late. Look at that sundown tonight at 6 o'clock, although I think it'll be overcast with some showers. Showers tonight, 56 to 62. Tomorrow, watching carefully, because tomorrow, a morning shower is not out of the question, but some strong afternoon storms are possible. Could see some heavy downpours, gusty winds, hail, even an isolated tornado. Tomorrow will definitely be a weather alert day. We'll be keeping you posted.
Oh, this is obviously Michael's doing because he saw that 73, and here I am.
Coming up, we have new details about that epic Oscars blunder, what really happened, and who was responsible, and why this treat is raising a lot of questions. We've got some answers just ahead.
And a major health scare for the big